I can't do it. Okay. We'll do it live.
Okay.
We'll do it live. It. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Thing sucks.
All right, here we go. It is the Daily Puck Drop. It's another edition. We're back after a hiatus. It's hiatus? Did I say that right? Monday, March 24th. It is the opening week of baseball. We'll talk about that. We got March Madness. We got the big news of Mitch Haniger being released. Craycraft, River. He's back in the Northwest. Of course, we got Jim Moore along here for the ride today on the Daily Puck Drop. We appreciate whether you're watching or listening to this live, of course, on YouTube, also on Twitter, just searching Puck Sports. We have the Puck Sports mobile app. Download it today, iOS store, also Google Play there as well. And for those who want to watch it later, always up on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel up there on YouTube. Also podcast platforms. As always, you know them all: Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, YouTube Music, whatever your favorite podcast platform is. It is the Daily Puck Drop, broadcasting from the Limbach Lumber Studios. Contractors, they got free deliveries, everything from whole house packages to homeowner DIY projects. The largest stock moldings in the Northwest, old school service. They've been doing it since 1930. Give Limbach Lumber a call, 206-782-3487. Visit them online at limbachlumber.com. Also the proud sponsor of our Little League team. And if we go through another loss, they may fire the manager from this last weekend. You can follow us on the social media platforms, Puck Sports on Twitter and Instagram, Puck_sports there on TikTok as well. And joining us as he does on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And he's brought to you by Jim Moore, the go-to guy.
Hey, it's good to have you back, man. I'm brought to you by a Clean Streak professional window and exterior cleaning service out of Oak Harbor, Washington. Proudly serving Island and Skagit counties for more than 10 years. They do it all from gutter cleaning, pressure washing your driveway, streak-free window washing. But this week, I want everybody to focus on your roof. Take a look at your roof. Have Brian Turner and his crew clean it for you. Winter's taking its toll. Spring might be here, but the roof, you need somebody to get up on that ladder. Get those guys up there. It's slippery up on the roof. You don't want to be messing around with that. You could die, okay? You could actually die.
That's a great sales pitch.
Yeah. So you don't want to go up there. So get a free estimate at cleanstreak.com or give them a call at 360-395-5748. That's 360-395-5748.
Okay. And the home course, it was such a good deal that they sold out all the stay and play packages?
They sold them all out. Yeah, I was writing up a new ad for them. I thought I'd have another pitch for the last week, but sure. I went to the homecourse.com/stay, and they're sold out through May 31st.
So you're good. So, yeah. All right, so home course is gone.
The home course is gone.
Okay,
back to this Brian Turner, and I love Brian Turner, man.
Oh, we love Brian, and we love a clean streak, and we appreciate it. Thank you to Brian Turner, and of course, clean streak. All right. Well, I've been off for a few days. Spring training was great. It was great to get in the sun. You know what I find about when you go somewhere where it's 78 degrees and sunny, you feel better.
Mm-hmm.
You just feel better. It's amazing what sun and warmth does for you.
Yeah. You also realize that you could buy a house down there for like half to one quarter what a house costs in Seattle. And you wonder what the hell you're doing?
Yes and no. I like it down there. I'm not sure if I could spend months down there, though. That would be my only thing. I don't know.
I'm kind of with you on that, though, because every time I visit, I really enjoy myself, but I can't see myself just going block after block of strip malls.
It all looks the same. It just all looks the same. There's nothing unique about the Phoenix, Scottsdale, Peoria, whatever, the whole area. There's nothing unique about it. It just all looks the same. So I think maybe after a few months I would probably get tired of it, but I don't know. I mean, hell, maybe I'll find out at some point. But that getting away for a few days to go in the sun, watch some baseball with your kid, which was just an absolute highlight. It was so much fun. We carved out so many games. A game on Wednesday in Peoria. watching the M's. And then Thursday we went to Talking Stick to go watch who was that? The Diamondbacks and the A's. That's a great stadium. And then Friday back to the Mariners. And then, every Wednesday and Friday getting to the Peoria complex like at 9:00 in the morning. And you go to those backfields and they're all just hanging out in those backfields, which was great.
What did Owen think?
Oh, he just had a time of his life. Just autograph after autograph and pictures, and the players were great. So
did you see Jerry?
I did not see Jerry. No, did not. Did not see Jerry.
I saw Jerry when I was there, but he was, in his box there behind home plate.
Yeah,
but
no,
that's great, especially if you can spend it with your kids down there too. And I don't think Owen had been before, right? So that was the first.
He had never been. He had never been. That was his first time. And so big thanks to Ryan Divish. He got him some all access behind the scenes, which was very cool. And then Chris DeWitt. I've known Chris forever, long time kind of clubhouse manager for the Mariners. So those guys were great. Had great seats one day. Just sat when we watched the Reds play on Friday. Sat like 4 rows behind home plate. Got Ellie De La Cruz. That man is just a mammoth individual. Awesome.
Was that the game where Logan beat him to first base
That was the game where Logan beat him to first base. Yep, exactly
okay.
right. Yeah,
that
was a great game. Awesome. It was awesome. So yeah, we had a good time. Really good time. Yeah.
Did you pay for your tickets?
For the first 2 days, and then my buddy Chris gave us free tickets.
Oh, okay. You didn't get them through Tim Heavley though.
No. I don't pander. I don't pander. if they say, hey, I got some tickets for you on Friday, I'm like, sure, I'll take those. I don't send out a formal email asking for tickets, but that's okay, Jim.
They got the 32. Did you have the 32-ounce draft?
I'm glad you brought that up. I did not have the 32-ounce draft. I had the 24, and then when the lady, she goes, do you want the 32 or 24? I said, I'll just take the 24. That's fine. And she goes, okay, that will be $19. And I said, excuse me? No, I really did. I'm not joking. I said, it's $19. I don't want the 32.
Yeah, because it's spring training.
I said, I don't want the 32. I want the 24. She goes, yeah, I know. It's $19. I go, this is spring training. Why am I paying $19 for a beer? Oh, that's just what it is. The first day was the first and only day on Wednesday where we actually ate in the stadium. I'm not joking. I think I spent $200 on food and drinks. It's just so...
Just for you and Owen?
Effing expensive. I mean, I'm probably... I went 2 beers, so that's $40. He got chicken fingers. That was $16.
Mm-hmm.
I think... What did I get?
But 100 anyway.
At least 100. I'm just like...
And soda pop was probably what, 8?
When did spring training become Major League Baseball prices?
Okay, the one thing
happened?
I like, though...
And actually, it's more... Hold on, Jim. That's more expensive than Safeco or T-Mobile.
Yeah. What was the 32-ounce? Because I don't remember paying that much. I mean, it was Coors Light what I got, or Bud Light or something.
I got. I mean, maybe it's because I paid for like a local one. It was like Four Peaks Brewery, so that was probably why. But still, $19 for a 24-ounce, craft beer. That's a little aggressive for spring training.
All right, but free parking.
Free parking at Peoria, not free parking at Talking Stick though. You got to pay at Talking Stick. $10.
How much was it?
$10.
Weren't you surprised though when you drove in at Peoria and I kept waiting for somebody? I had my card ready, or and nobody took it.
No, that was nice. That was nice, but yeah, I was, and prices are like that everywhere. I was blown away how much. I hadn't been to spring training. Well, I'll be honest, I hadn't been to spring training for a decade where I wasn't working.
Mm-hmm.
Where I just had to, work and covered the team. That and I'm not paying for anything then. But just to go as a fan, that's been a decade. I didn't realize how expensive it was. It was insane.
Worth every dollar, though.
Yeah, it was a blast.
Kid. Did you play golf at all?
No. It was all baseball. It was all watching baseball, and then we'd go back to my buddy's place and watch basketball. Yeah, it was just jump in the pool. It was good. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
well, good break then. Yeah,
it was a good break. was a good break. And I'm going to tell you this, we flew out of SeaTac, which is miserable, but flew into Payne Field on Friday night. Highly recommend Payne Field out of Everett. I think I'm going to pay the extra amount of money from now on to fly out of Payne Field. And maybe at some point, the Daily Puck Drop can be brought to you by the city of Everett and Payne Field. Your choice next time you fly.
Well, it kind of goes without saying that, and SeaTac is just one of the worst in the country.
A dumpster fire, an absolute dumpster fire, that airport.
I still can't believe that there's just one drop-off area. I mean, I know there's an upstairs and a downstairs, but in Phoenix, there's like 4 terminals.
Yeah, Phoenix is great. Phoenix, you're in and out, but this Payne Field, I'm telling you. I mean, you'll never have to do it, but if you ever do fly into there. I mean, you're out. It's like a couple of gates. You're easy peasy right to the parking lot, out on your way.
Yeah, it just depends on the drive from Ballard, though. When you make
same amount of time.
Is it?
Same amount of time. Easy, real easy.
Yeah. Well, the Redmond Airport here in Central Oregon.
Oh, I love that airport. God. That's a great airport.
There's 6 gates is all. I love that when you get off the plane and you're on the tarmac and you kind of have to walk and then go. Yeah, I mean, it's just, and then you just kind of walk to your car. You know, it's not some, you have to go up escalators and everything. It's just, But, the smaller, the better.
And unlike SeaTac, people generally seem happy to see you. Unlike at SeaTac, where everyone's miserable and yelling at each other. And then they don't do anything. No one's doing anything there. All right, hey, we're going to get to Mitch Haniger in a quick second. March Madness. Well, I mean, there wasn't a lot of madness, was there?
Well, there was yesterday here or in Seattle.
Yesterday. Well, the Seattle games were great. But just in terms of the first round, right? No buzzer beaters, no upsets, no nothing. But yesterday came through. Yesterday, Seattle was great. Those 2 games were. Those were the 2 best games. They're unbelievable. Maryland hitting the game winner. We're going to get to it. I have the video. Did he travel? Did he not travel? And then we watched Arizona and Oregon, which was a sensational ball game. It was awesome to watch. It made me very sad to watch it at the same time.
I couldn't. Yeah, Tim Booth from the Seattle Times was tweeting about it, and I just thought back to last year when the same 2 teams played in the Pac-12 tournament down in Vegas, and it's just so wrong, and everybody knows that. Even Oregon fans, Arizona fans, everybody wishes the Pac-12 was still around, and then Colorado State, I was disappointed for them because that kid just hit such a great shot that could have been the game winner. Future Pac-12 school.
Yeah, sure.
Going to be pulling for them, and then Derek Queen hitting that shot, and I don't think, I didn't notice it, Puck, when it was live, but when they showed the end zone shot, the low angle, and then I've never. Okay, look, I mean, I know I'm clueless on a lot of shit. Okay, so let me just throw that out there, but I have never heard the term gathering. I mean, yesterday people were talking about, that you need to gather the ball. Gene Steratore was on the broadcast, the rules guy, talking about this gather bullshit. Well, fuck the gather shit, man. That kid traveled. That fucking kid traveled. Come on.
Yeah,
he traveled.
Well, traveled. I don't
debate about it.
No, well, number one, there is.
No, I know. But
there is a debate about it.
In my mind. And, there's some listeners out there going, oh, fuck more.
Well, I think I would say this. The gather thing, when he was, explaining the gather with the one hand to the 2 hands, and it doesn't count until he gets really to the second hand, I'm like,
have you heard this gather stuff?
Yeah, I've heard it, but just the way he was describing it, I'm like, I don't know, man. It's either travel or travel. It's kind of been a travel for like 100 years of watching basketball. I would say this about it. Watching it in real time, I did not think that he traveled.
I didn't either.
So I think when they slowed it.
And, not taking anything away from that kid, going off the right foot and off balance, great defense by the Colorado State kid. And then still to make that bank swish. I mean, come on, with what was on the line.
Yeah, well,
fantastic.
Here it is. We're going to watch it again in real time. For those just just listening, we're just playing the shot there from Queen and the game winner.
To the freshman Queen, who's driving, floats it. Oh! Maryland on the right side of a buzzer
Yeah, it doesn't.
with life. From the out of bounds to the freshman Queen, who's driving, floats it. Oh!
I do agree when you slow it down.
Well, when you slow it down and when you see it from the end zone.
Yeah. It does look like he travels, and maybe he did, but I don't know. They didn't seem Steratore didn't seem that he did because of your favorite thing, the gathering, that he had the second step, then he gathered.
I remember back in the day, it was like a step and a half. It wasn't even a full 2 steps, and then it evolved into 2 steps.
I always thought it was been 2 steps, but
see, and okay. Do you agree on this?
1 and 1.5 step that's for you. It's 1.5 step. That's how you played. I don't know. And there were peach baskets back then, so I mean.
When I saw it again on replay, I said to Kathy, Kathy, come here a minute, come here, take a look at this.
What do you think?
Do you think that's traveling? And she was like, yeah, that's traveling.
Okay, so she said traveling. It's one of the great things, right? You take that video and you show 10 people in a bar and see what they say.
Well, I think 7 would say traveling.
You think so? That high? You might be right.
Yeah, I think 7. But okay, and so another thing, as long as we're talking about traveling, I've always felt like, and it's commonplace, I know that everybody does it, the step back 3 that the guys do now all the time, they always do that, the step back 3. I think they take 2 or 3 steps there. So, I mean, that looks that would have been traveling 20 years ago too, but now it's like, oh, well, sure, you can take 4 steps and shoot the 3.
There's a great point here in our chat by Jeff. So my daughter asked me after that explanation, quote, so could I run down the whole court with the ball in just one hand? And I would say to Jeff, great point there by your daughter, and to Steratore, that's what I thought of when he said, well, it doesn't really count until you gather it from one hand to the second hand. Then I'm like, well, then could I literally just run down the court with the one hand? I haven't gathered yet.
Okay, the other thing, Puck, it seems like
that was confusing, and I don't quite buy that it doesn't count until he gathers to the second hand. Well, then can I just run, like to Jeff's point, could you literally just run down the court with one hand and be like, hey, Gene, I haven't gathered yet.
I was laughing about this gather.
Yeah.
I'm going, no, I don't want to hear anything about gathering. We've been watching basketball for years. No one's ever talked about gathering. And we just know when a travel is a travel and when a travel isn't. You know what it reminded me of? And maybe it's not the same thing. And maybe some say, no, that's always been the rule. I don't remember this. So if this has always been the rule, then I'll backtrack. But nowadays you can when a guy is driving, right? The defender can go, if he has his hands straight up, he can leap off the ground and make contact with the offensive player, and it's not a blocking foul, right? Yeah.
But if his arms are not straight up, if they're forward, then it's a foul. That, to me, I never remember that. I never remember that. Anytime a defender would make contact with an offensive player when he has left his feet, that is a foul every time. I just remember that.
Yeah,
they kind of felt like they kind of changed that a long time ago. But
okay, so it seems like there's always 3 or 4 stoppages every game in the final 2 minutes to see if the ball went out of bounds on whichever team, right? And those things take forever too. By the way, I mean,
Oregon was a long finish.
Why couldn't they review that travel? I mean, I know that there's a rule why they can't do that. I mean, I don't want to take it so far as like, hey, you better check that should have been an offensive foul instead of a blocking call or whatever. But I think in that instance, you could have made a case for going back and seeing if that kid traveled. And I think that they would have reversed the call if they'd looked.
Hey, I don't need any more. I don't need any more. I don't need any more stoppage in time in these games, man. That Oregon-Arizona thing was just like, good Lord. It just dragged and dragged. I mean, it was great, but it was really dragging at the end.
Yeah. And I noticed on Twitter, you and Ian Furness, you just enjoyed watching TJ at the end of the game.
Well, because I just experienced that my entire life of watching TJ Bomba play basketball. I swear, if you had a camera in my house, I promise you, hand not to God, hand to the gods of peanut butter, you would have heard me telling my kids, number 5 is going to get the ball and he's going to put his head down and try to drive to the basket and be a hero. And it happened both times. He's a fabulous basketball player, not at the end of the game. And he has never changed. And it's just, if I was a Duck fan, I would be like, why is that guy driving to the basket and not our best player who's our point guard? Why is he not driving to the basket?
Or the center.
Or get it to the center that's like has a mullet and then a bald spot. Why? And then, its hair is falling out on the court as he's running up and down it.
I know. I wanted to say, I'm drawing a blank. Dana, what's his last name again?
Altman.
Okay. I wanted to say to Altman, hey, man, did you not watch games at Washington State?
It's just, I knew the second, like one time when he got it on the wing, I knew the second he got it. And Shellstad was coming off a screen. He was trying to get the ball. And I remember like Bomba, faked the pass and basically was like, no, I got it. I'm like, no, you don't. No, you don't. You don't have it.
And the shot he took didn't even draw iron.
No,
it just drew glass.
Both of them, the two down the stretch, they were just terrible shots. And he's a very, very good basketball player when he plays within himself and just plays his normal style of basketball. But when he starts thinking he is, the closer of a game, it's just over.
How about the inbounds pass that he made, too? It just kind of went to no one in particular. It just hit the hardwood, and Arizona was like, hey, free ball, I'll take it.
Oh, yeah. Was that the end? Maybe. Did I miss that one?
It was in the last 2 minutes.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Well. No, and, I mean, we liked TJ when he was in Pullman.
I do.
But...
I like him, but I just knew at the end of the game that he was going to get the ball and put his head down and go.
No, but, with us, he was our best option or one of two best options. Shit, at Oregon, they had better options than TJ Bomba at the end of the game, as you pointed out.
Yeah, well, especially Shellstad. Just get him the ball.
No, I know. God.
Get him the ball and let him turn it loose. So, that was a great game. It was just hard to watch, two old, Pac-10, Pac-12 rivals go at it in a Pacific Coast Conference city that's no longer.
Yeah.
And it's just depressing, just depressing.
No, I'm with you. I miss them. I want them back.
I do. I miss Arizona. I miss their crowd. I miss Oregon. I miss all of it. Yeah.
U of A.
It was great. It was just two great games. Great games, just in our city, in our arena. So it was fun to watch. So now what the big topic is today, right? The NIL is destroying the NIL is destroying upsets in mid majors, right? Is that the huge topic today? That's what everyone's.
Well, yeah, I've got
clamoring
my
about.
Correspondent in Pullman, Michael Moore, telling me that Nate Calmese is in the portal now.
We can't lose Nate Calmese. Can't possibly lose him for the team.
We can't, because we got to win this Crown tournament that starts next Monday.
So I told you. I mean, so he's
we're not going to beat the Hoyas without Nate Calmese.
So is he the only one in there? Or is there more in?
Isaiah's leaving too.
Oh, that's right. So we lost two.
I think Watts is out too.
So why are we playing this thing?
So that Parker Garretts can develop.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there's going to be a lot of developing going on there with Parker Garretts. I mean, I don't think it's any debate here on this mid-major thing. Like, are you all concerned now that the NIL is destroying this now, and that we don't see upsets or these mid-major programs anymore?
Yeah, I can see why it's a topic, though. It's a little disappointing. How do you build a team now? I mean, you can't really. If you're at a mid-major, I mean, you're going to lose your kids after 1 year. You're not Power 5 conferences. Yeah, you can expect this every year. Like, there's somebody on Twitter saying, "Hey, this will be great that we're playing in this Crown tournament. It'll give David Riley a chance to develop his team and work with his team." I'm going, well, what are you talking about? But like, work with who? Who's coming back on the team next year? Okafor, Garretts. Who else? Oh, the Iceland kid.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about is the NCAA tournament. What I'm talking about is like teams are looking at the Sweet 16 and people are like, hey, there's no mid-major programs in the Sweet 16, which is, again, I think we're overreacting a little bit to what has happened here this year in it, because if you look at like last year, now are there any mid-major programs in it? No, but like last year you had one 11 seed, and that was NC State. This year you have a 10th seed, which that is Arkansas. So yeah, you have a lot of high seeds that are in this year. But mid-majors, like last season, you had the only mid-major program that was in it was San Diego State, and they were from the Mountain West. You also have to keep in mind, and this was a good point that was brought up on social media by Nicole Auerbach, you got to bring up, this. You have to remember Houston, who's now in the Big 12, was in the American Athletic Conference, not a mid-major. That's a mid-major program. And then also BYU, before moving over to the Big 12, was in the West Coast Conference. And also you look at like the like in 2023, in 23, you had Princeton in it, and FAU in it, right? They were a 9th and 15th seed mid-major program. You had 4, but one of those in the last several years has always been Gonzaga. No one is ever going to think of Gonzaga as some mid-major program, are they? I mean, I know they're in the WCC, but that's not a mid-major basketball program. No one would say that.
No. And Kelvin Sampson talked about it. They shouldn't have been an 8 seed. I mean, you look at St. Mary's and how they played yesterday. They were clearly outclassed, and I know St. Mary's beat Gonzaga this year twice, I think it was. So, but yeah, it's okay. It's just 1 year. I think you might be right that we're overreacting to that, but it seems like it might be the start of a trend.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I don't think it's a huge trend. I also think it's going to be probably, maybe something better to watch. I don't think it's taken away so much from what we've seen in the tournament so far. But I just think that, that first weekend was void of, a lot of upsets. So, which is too bad. You would have liked to see a few more upsets, but who whatever. The Dan Hurley thing, boy, I've never seen a basketball group of people turn on one person more in my life than Dan Hurley. I mean, he's gone from he's kind of fiery and he's likable to everyone fucking hates the guy now, and I'll be honest with you, for good reason they hate him. He's insufferable.
So do you hate him?
Do I hate him? I don't. I think his act is wearing thin. Yeah, for sure. I think it's just become problematic. I think him complaining after every game is an issue.
Yeah. So what is it? He and his brother, do you think they go back and forth on like who can be the biggest ass? Bobby or Dan? They might do that. I don't know. I've never liked Dan Hurley, and I've never liked Bobby Hurley.
I think they learn it. I think they learn a lot of it from their dad. I think their dad is if you go back and follow him in high school and all like his high school days. I think his dad has been, a huge issue, and it's a kind of a, an influence on the way that Bobby and Dan Hurley probably coach. So, yeah, it's, I think that they learn it from him, and they feel like that's the right way to act. I think Bobby Hurley's always been kind of an idiot on the court and also on the sideline. Hasn't had the success as Dan Hurley. And then Dan Hurley has this great success, and I think there's a lot to like about him, but then the way that he handles it and storming off the court and, screaming that the refs are going to F you guys over too, and I don't know. It's just that the guy hasn't learned his lesson, and he keeps talking and doing all these interviews saying how he's got to get better at it. It doesn't seem like he has got better at it. So,
yeah. Did any of us notice that they were getting hosed by the officials in that game? It didn't really occur to me while I was watching.
No, I don't think. To me, I don't. It was nothing questionable at all. That kid from that guard from Florida, that Clayton kid, was unbelievable, hitting shot after shot. He was almost unguardable. Well, he was unguardable. They had no answer for him. So I don't know. It's just he complains because he just wants to complain.
Well, and then he was crying too. He was tearing up, and I don't think anybody feels sorry for him.
No, I don't think anybody feels sorry for him at all. I don't think there's not a person that feels sorry for him at all. I think people are now hoping that he keeps on losing. All right, so just switching gears over to baseball and kind of the big news that happened yesterday. Mitch Haniger, or was it yesterday or the day before? Mitch Haniger released. I'm stunned that they did this. I think it was the right move that they did this, but I still am real stunned that they ended up releasing Mitch Haniger and eating that $15 million. I thought, hey, since they're paying him, they're just going to keep him on the team. It ultimately is the right decision to make. But still, at the end of the day, I'm surprised that they were able to do it.
Well, yeah, you would have thought that they would try and get something out of their $15 million or $17 million or whatever they're paying him this year, and just kind of play it out and wait for his injury to heal and see if you could get something for him. But I guess they got enough backfield help with Hurley and Dylan Moore, and they just felt like he was expendable. And so, yeah, I commend them for doing it. I'm glad they did it. You feel bad because everybody loves Mitch Haniger, but it was the right decision.
Yeah, I mean, the right decision. Again, I am surprised that they did it, but hey, good for them. I guess at the end of the day, you're like, it doesn't matter. We have to pay him. We have to pay him. So why would we have a guy on the roster that we just are not going to play? We can't play him anywhere. He was gonna basically turn into a part-time DH, and you can't carry a part-time DH on your team. And so it's a sunk cost. They're gonna pay him anyway, so let him move on. Maybe he catches on someplace else. I don't know. I mean, there's a guy that has just been dealing with injuries after injuries, year after year after year, and I just think it's getting to the point here for Mitch Haniger, and I don't think it's his fault. I mean, for whatever, just body breaks down, and his body is just broken down on him. And I think Rowdy Tellez has been good, and Rowdy Tellez can play first base. He can DH and also be your first baseman, and a guy that hits from the left side. They don't have a ton of left-hand hitters. Brings a little bit of pop to it, so he's just a more valuable player. So it was. I mean, we can be smartasses here and go, wow, who could have envisioned Mitch Haniger breaking down once you acquired him? Yeah, I mean, this was, part of their problem with them, the way they've constructed the team in the last few years, is that you're taking all these risks on players that have significant health and injury history. And, this one backfired again on them. Hopefully it doesn't backfire on Jorge Polanco, who's looked good in the spring, but, I mean, who knows until they start playing games.
Yeah, it's hard to say, Puck. I mean, with Polanco, we're all pulling for him. We all know that he can hit better than he did last year, but he hasn't really been that great at third base in the spring. And it's going to be tough for him to make a transition like that. So hopefully he'll get it done. Maybe they'll move Solano over there a little bit. They can juggle it around, but yeah, I suppose we shouldn't be surprised by what happened with Mitch Haniger. I just think it would have been later in the season when they cut ties with him, not here in March.
And like all the indications are that they handled it well. And I just bring that up because it's been an organization that has been accused of not handling, things well with past players, Kyle Seager, Felix Hernandez, but all the indications, at least I've heard, is that they handled it, well behind the scenes, and I guess that's good news. And now we're just a few days away from opening day. We'll see Logan Gilbert against Luis Severino coming up on Thursday of the 7:10 start. They announced over the weekend, everyone, including yourself, you don't need to have Fubo anymore. You don't need Comcast anymore because they've offered a streaming service. So they've got into the 21st century offering a service in which everyone can watch the team play. Thank God.
No, it's going to be great. I mean, it's going to be the price of a beer that you paid for down there in Peoria. I mean, for 1 month, you can watch all the games. You can watch 25, 30 games. And so I think it's terrific for everyone. I think I can even figure it out, which is pretty amazing. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to make sure I do that. That's on my list of things to do for the retired guy today, is to sign up for Root Sports. I was texting back and forth with Brad Adam trying to find out how sales are going, and he doesn't know yet, but I imagine that they're doing some good business with that new offer they have.
I don't think Brad Adam, and I love Brad, I don't think Brad's going to have any idea of how the sales are going to go for the streaming service. I don't think hey, Brad, it's Don over here and sales. Just want to give you an update on how many subscriptions we've sold. I think they'll do fine. I think they'll be good. I mean, I think it comes out to, somebody did it. It's like $1 a game, if that, or something like that. I mean, it's $20 is really nothing. And you're right. I spent $20 on a beer. So if I can spend $20 on a beer, I think I can spend $20 a month on watching the Mariners play. I think I'll be okay.
Yeah. Okay. Now listen, wise ass. I understand I'm on a delay here, and I'm not sure what the issue is. But
I know what the issue. I know what the issue is.
If I'm Brad, I'm thinking, I don't. But if I'm Brad Adam and I work at Root Sports, I'm thinking, hey man, I want to find out what's going on with this new deal that we have going to all the different fans out there, and see if things are going well. So it's a possibility that Brad might have known that information.
I have to, like, every time I'm going to ask you a question, I'm going to pause for 5 seconds so you can respond. Do we not have good internet in Bend, Oregon, or how does that work?
God, it's working so well the first 20 minutes, and then I'm just sitting here doing absolutely nothing, not touching any controls, just minding my own business, like crossing my fingers, hoping that things are going to go well today. And what the fuck, man, it's not.
It's okay. I mean, I think with your internet being down and being delayed and then your dog's barking in the background, I think it's been a highlight so far of the Monday show.
Yeah, I think you're right about that, Puck. I apologize. This one's out of my control. I'm not sure exactly what the problem is, but yeah, there must be some weak internet service here in Bend, Oregon, at our house.
You got to get fiber. Doesn't Quantum? You got to get a Quantum fiber internet down there in Bend, Oregon. What did you make of the patches? Did you see the patches that the Mariners are putting on their jerseys this year?
Was it Nintendo?
Yeah. Did you see the patches? Yeah. You did the Nintendo patches.
Yeah. 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 What the heck? I don't know. What do you think?
I think they're great. You know what? They are. It's the home one is fine. The road one is just, I mean, I don't know. It looks awful. The road one looks terrible. All right, sorry about that. We just we have not been able to have a good connection there with Jim Moore. Sorry about that. It was too much of a delay. That's on us. We apologize here for that. Hopefully, we will get it back up and running at some point. But obviously, there was too much of a delay there with Jim's internet. He's just got to get a new internet service down there in Bend, Oregon, and we'll have it all figured out. On the patches thing, that was that I saw over the weekend with the Mariners on the Nintendo patch. One, I'm all for all of it because it's, I think you put advertising on everything, and I don't care what it is. I mean, this is kind of the day and age of sports, and you see this kind of stuff all the time, on jerseys. And so I think it's great that they signed up there with Nintendo. But the patches themselves, I mean, they're just so awkward. They're so awkward looking. Like when I first saw the picture, I was like, that doesn't even look real. And I'm going to share this. I'm going to share the screen when I was looking at it. I didn't think that it was actually like real. I was like, no, this is photoshopped. It has to be. But look at that. Like that one looks so terrible. It's just this big red patch on the left arm sleeve. It just, I guess the thing is, it looks so unnatural, that patch. And the home one is the home one's a little bit better, but even that one, it's just kind of small, and it's like they're like, we have these two patches. We got to post them on, we got to paste them on there somewhere. Where are we going to put them? Let's just right here. Let's just put it there. I don't know. It's odd. I mean, The Mariners are one of this organization at times that, and I'm guilty of this, that it doesn't matter what they do. It's just that you are going to criticize them and hammer them for anything. And again, fair, unfair, that's just kind of the nature with these guys, is that you just, it doesn't matter what they do. Like we get critical because we're so cynical there with these guys. And but at the same time, like, I'm thinking of the streaming deal. I love the streaming deal. I'm so glad that they finally got that done. So I don't want to be cynical or say anything about, well, it's not bundled in with the MLB package. Well, okay, so it's not bundled in there. But we as Mariner fans and anyone that has cut the cord, I cut the cord years ago. For the first 2 years that we cut the cord, I streamed the games, illegally. Well, I mean, through MLB.com, but then had like a VPN, was watching it that way. And then, after that, when Fubo came around, did Fubo. Fubo's okay. I mean, I only got Fubo because of the Mariners, but other than that, the service is not great. And then have YouTube TV now, and like, they don't have Root Sports, not on YouTube TV. So the fact is that you spend $20, now you can stream it. You can stream all of it, not just the games, but all of Root Sports. It's a great deal. Whatever, for me personally with them, and it's because I'm friends with people over there, friends with Brad, whatever they can do financially, because I know what people are going to say. Oh, it's just more money in their pockets. I get that. Not saying that's not an unfair criticism of them. But I would just say that, we all wanted this. We begged for them to do this. And the fact is they were able to get it done, jump over some hurdles, probably with, how they deal with, Comcast and their other subscribers, that I'm all for it. So I'm glad they were able to do it. I'm glad they were able to pull it off. It was long overdue, and it just gives Mariner fans an option now, an option to have something that they can watch the games no matter where they're at. How does it affect your viewing of the team this year? Does it change how you feel about the team? No, I think it changed how you feel about the team, what they've done in the offseason and all that. And I spent 3 days and watched them down spring training. I'm not coming back and going, oh, man, I'm telling you, they got themselves a championship team. They are what everybody thinks that they are. And when you watch them pitch, for the most part, we saw, who did we see? We saw Gilbert. Who did we see on Wednesday? Now, who am I blanking on that? Was that Miller? No, Wu. I can't even remember who we saw on Wednesday. But point is, like, all their pitching, and for the most part, their defense is good. That's fine. The hitting, that's just going to be, once again, the biggest storyline of the season, hitting and offense. Duh. I mean, thanks, Tips. Thanks for sharing that information. But, and you have to take, you got to pump the brakes a little bit when you go watch them down in spring training. You got to pump the brakes of how hard they're hitting the ball and where they're hitting it and all that. It's just because of the weather and the climate down there and the ballpark and all of it. Like, you can't take away what they've done down there offensively and go, oh, that's going to carry over when they go from hitting in 78, 80-degree weather to whatever Thursday is going to be. I know it's a little warmer this week, but it's going to be in the 50s, high 40s there on Thursday. So, yeah, the environment here is going to be much, much worse than it was down in Peoria. But it's good to see Polanco hit the ball more. I would say this, just watching him for a couple of games, I can't tell you just by watching him how well he played at third base. I'll be honest with you, there weren't too many balls actually hit to him there at third base to give you a good read on how he fields the ball, how he moves around. I think Tellez, and even with Rayleigh over at first base, but I thought Tellez handled himself well, handled the first baseman's glove great. The also watching Ryan Bliss. All right, Here's the one I'll overreact to a little bit. And I know it's going to get to me. Now, Ryan Bliss has always been known as a hitter. And what I would say about Ryan Bliss is the man did not disappoint in the stuff that we watched down there. Not just only in the game, but when as I was telling Jim earlier when he was on, when we were watching them early in the morning take BP and go through all their drills, he's spraying the ball everywhere. And just hard contact. Everything's a line drive. It was beautiful. Now, again, it's practice. It's BP. A lot of that should be that. But in the games, he did the same thing. He had a play where he showed off his speed and his athleticism, and I'm blanking on who hit the ball. But it was just, it was a soft poke down to right field. He was on first. And again, guys with lesser speed aren't getting to third base, but the fact that he went to first to third on it was great. He has just a flair to him. He has a level of speed and athleticism that not a lot of guys, or very few, have other than him. So I think if he can get his bat going, he could certainly be a force in the lineup and certainly an improvement over there. The one knock on him, and I didn't see him, again, make any errors or any poor throws or anything like that, but that's the knock on him, his defense. His defense is not good. So hopefully that can get better. But the bat was good. The bat was real good. Raleigh looked great. The game on Friday that we were at with Cal Raleigh, I wish the automated balls and strikes thing was in play now. And it must be because they don't have it in every park or whatever the holdup is. I know like next year that they're going to have it. But that challenge system is sensational. It is awesome. And there were, in one inning, there were 3 times that Cal Raleigh used it and won all 3. And you know what, I was talking to my buddies and then who were there with me and my son, what would be, I don't know what's the right word, problematic or annoying if you were the umpire, would be because it's almost, it's like in a way kind of showing you up, is that if you don't know it, if you haven't seen it yet, and I'm assuming many of you have, it's not like they go and put the headsets on with like a replay that they do. And then someone tells them, no, that actually was a strike, or that actually was a ball. They show it up on the big video board for everyone to see. So they show it and they do that like it's the EQC tracer. Boom, no, strike. And then people erupt and then people are heckling the poor guy behind home plate. I would say in the umpire's defense, though, by the way, the 3 instances in which Cal correctly challenged and got a ball overturned to a strike, he missed it by like half an inch, not even half an inch. It was close. It was so close. And I turned to my kid and I just said, you know what, these guys, this is the hardest thing in the world. The speed and the velocity that these pitchers are throwing at now is so unbelievable. And the eye coordination's got to be so on top of it. And they were good. For the most part, they get them right. And I think that's the other thing about it that I at least noticed. I think they get it right, these umpires, more than they actually get it wrong, which is kind of, good for those guys. So it was a good time down there. It didn't change my opinion, didn't change my thought process on what I think this Mariners team is going to be. They will pitch. They will have fairly good defense. It all is going to hinge on offensively. Can they do anything, right? The Victor Robles injury scare, that we didn't see that. We were gone when that happened. But, that would have been just a killer. Had that broken anything, the way that he was playing, the game that we were there to watch him, he was on base 4 or 5 times, I think, in that game that we watched. And I love the way he carries himself. I love the way he plays. He's so fast. He's in your face. He's not obnoxious or cocky. He's just having fun out there. He's a kid playing baseball. Every young kid should watch how Victor Robles plays baseball and go, you know what? I'm gonna emulate the way that Robles plays the game of baseball. But if he can have the type of season he had at times, he's not going to be quite like he was last year. Maybe if they can get one game better, and one game has been what has missed out here in the last few years. But it certainly doesn't replace what they did not do or not add here in this offseason, because they certainly could have added to this team. They needed to add to this team. It's good to see Julio, kind of in spring training, a hot note, hitting that grand slam there. It was yesterday or on Saturday. So he looks like he's kind of getting going, and hopefully that carries over, for Julio Rodriguez, because that has been a big thing for him, is these slow starts to the season for him. And why has he gotten off to these slow starts? How much pressure does he put on himself? Does he put too much pressure on himself to try and deliver in the beginning of the season? That's something that Divish and I have talked about a lot when Ryan has been on, that this is a guy that feels the weight of an organization on him. And so he feels like he has to carry the organization, and all of the issues that they have offensively, I think it weighs on him. No doubt that the contract that he's been paid, he's paid like a guy who is a superstar and a guy that, should be putting up MVP and superstar numbers. And I think there's a pressure to that. And how does one react, with that added pressure of a contract, knowing that you're being marketed as, kind of the next superstar, next big deal in professional baseball, and the guy that's going to take the Mariners out of the cellar and make them World Series champions. So I think that's been a big adjustment for Julio. I think he's up for the task. He is a megastar. The way he carries himself around that facility and the organization, the way that kids gravitate towards him and are just in awe of him. I would hope that this is the year that he just, he doesn't have to come out gangbusters and just be like over 300 and home run after home run and runs driven in after runs driven in and all that. But it's got to be a better start. Got to be a better start, because the offense, and I think the one thing that you notice when you're up close and personal with him, the one thing that you notice for sure, absolutely, is that entire team feeds off of the energy there of Julio Rodriguez. But opening day coming up on Thursday, which does mark the 1-year anniversary here of Puck Sports debuting last opening day. We are going to have our same kind of opening day show on Thursday. I was going to try and plan something on Thursday, like a meet and greet to watch it, but then we got Little League practice, so I got to go coach. I got to go coach a bunch of kids, which is fun. It's a blast doing it anyway. So we won't do anything special, but at some point we will. But 1 year on Thursday, 1 year of Puck Sports, the Daily Puck Drop and all that, which again, I'm just thrilled about. I'm so happy that we're still doing this and providing you at least with some laughs every single day here, because we're unique, right? It's a daily podcast, rather, opposed to, what some people put out there, 2 times a week or 3 times a week. So we try to give you something every single day. Hopefully you're enjoying it. 1 year has been great. We'll have a little bit more on that on Thursday, but just to give you kind of a sneak preview of what's coming up on Thursday, kind of the regulars that we had last year. Brad Adams is going to be back on Thursday. We're going to record a lot of these and just play them back for you guys on Thursday, but Brad Adams will stop on by. Jim Duquette is back again. Ryan Divish, of course, is back again. We'll unlock Divish for everyone this week in our opening day preview. The scout is back. We had that a couple weeks ago. We're going to make that a reoccurring guest. The scout, he's a current Major League Baseball scout. Has been covering baseball for 30 years. People have liked it, so we'll bring that back. And the scout will give you kind of the unfiltered look there at the Mariners and the rest of baseball. So we'll get that started on Thursday. That will be kind of a special opening day show. It will be live, but we will be playing the interviews during the live portion of the show. Wednesday's show, the go-to guy was not going to be here Wednesday anyways, because we have a special show on Wednesday. So even if his internet works, he's not going to be on. But a Wednesday show, we will debut a new element here at Puck Sports, and a new element that will be exclusive for Puck's Posse. And again, you can sign up. You just visit pucksports.com, $5 a month. Hell, that'll get you four beers. Well, no, you could buy a membership. $20 would take you for 4 months, right? Am I math right? Because 4 months of what I paid for a beer at spring training, for crying out loud. You can go to pucksports.com to sign up to be a member. Also, the QR code on your screen, if you're streaming it, that will take you there as well. A new show that debuts Wednesday. We'll be recording tonight, and it will come out called The Sports Pit. There's been a lot of guesses who people think is going to who they think is going to be on The Sports Pit. If you have a guess, put it in the chat right now of who is going to be on the new show, The Sports Pit, which will debut Wednesday. It will air every week for Puck's Posse members. We probably will do something similar to how we've done with Divish, where we'll play you a portion of it, but the full entire show, which is going to last probably about an hour or so every single week, will be just for Puck's Posse members. Normally, it will come out on Mondays, but since it was opening week and we had schedules kind of all over the place, I was traveling back. The first one is going to come out on Wednesday. It's going to be a standalone show Wednesday. So Wednesday's Daily Puck Drop will just be The Sports Pit, and it'll be a full hour, probably go a little bit longer since it's the first one. You will thoroughly enjoy. I want to keep it under wraps for now. I think you're going to thoroughly enjoy who is going to be on it. But, hey, you got to wait and find out. It's going to be very good. Very good. So keep the guesses going. Oh, that's a good one. Good one. That's a good guess there from Chip. Hold on, Chip. Hold on. Not a bad one. Chip says New York Vinny, Fabulous Sports Babe, and Mitch. That's a good one. That's a good one. But I think you'll like it. I hope you like it. You better like it. If you don't like it, I don't want to hear that you don't like it. All right, just lie to me and tell me it's great. But I think you will thoroughly enjoy the debut of The Sports Pit that's going to come on Wednesday. Here's the thing, and people are like, well, why do you call it The Sports Pit? What's that deal? That's what back in the day, I don't know whoever coined the term The Sports Pit, but back in the old KJR days when we worked, the old Queen Anne one, which I interned under, and then the two old ones, or the original old one on Elliott, where we hung out, where we had all our TVs, where we had all our desks, we just called it The Sports Pit. And it literally was just everyone, when their shows were over or the beginning of their shows, we all hung out in this area and just busted each other's balls nonstop. And it was just kind of it was the meeting place where everyone would come in, like during breaks of the commercials, the host would come into the Sports Pit, hang out, tell some jokes, off-color jokes, bust people's balls, and then move on. So it's a perfect name for the show that will come out on Wednesday. And again, a full opening day show on Thursday with Jim Duquette, Ryan Divish, Brad Adam, and the Scout. All right, other news and notes. We were going to get to this, and I'm bummed because of Jim's internet connection was kind of just spotty there, so we had to let him go there. And maybe we'll save it when he comes back on Friday, because I wanted to get his reaction and his thoughts to River Craycraft coming back, signing a deal there with the Seahawks. Just so cool that he's back. I don't know. Listen, I don't know what he's going to do. I'm not expecting really anything, much of anything from River Craycraft. All right. I mean, I don't know how many catches he had last, like 7 catches or something. But for us alums, us Cougar alums, we love this guy. We love this guy more than anything. So see if he makes the team. But he was a hell of a receiver in college. It's cool that he's still stuck it out in the NFL. See what his role is. But hey, now that we got Craycraft, I can't wait to talk to Dugar on this week whenever we have Dugar on. Now we got Craycraft and Cooper Kupp. You want to talk about the first one in, last one to leave team, huh? Little gym rats. We got a team full of gym rats right now. Cup, Craycraft, Bobo, huh? That is a good one. That's a good combo right there. And lunch pail guys. We'll have Danny Kelly on tomorrow. Tuesday show we got Danny on from the Ringer. We'll talk Seahawks and NFL draft, and also John Canzano will be on tomorrow there as well. But yeah, Danny and I, we have fun with that one too. Good, an all lunch pail team we're starting to develop in that wide receiver room. But good for River Craycraft, good for the Seahawks, and we'll see what he can add to the team. And they need to add wide receivers. They need to add to that room, and no doubt we'll address it also in the draft. Speaking of the wide receiver room, I did see over the weekend, or when I was in Arizona, the video clip from DK Metcalf talking to, who was it, Marshawn Lynch and Michael Robinson about, his time in Seattle. And seems like maybe him and Ryan Grubb just did not get along. Seems like that also Tyler Lockett and Grubb didn't get along. And that's the one thing I mean, maybe I'm in the boat with a lot of people. Not everyone believes this, but I thought Ryan Grubb was going to be a home run hire, but it just seemed like he was just not. Well, it doesn't seem like he just was not a good fit. Did not communicate well. I think it's disheartening to hear, two athletes in DK and Lockett with an extreme amount of expertise at that position and veterans on a football team making up scouting reports and giving the coach intel about, hey, what works against certain teams. The one example he gave was the 49ers game, and then it not being used. And I think especially in the professional ranks, what good coaches, what I think separates, really, really good coaches, and actually you could probably say this at every level now that I think about it, is the coaches listening to the players and getting feedback from the players. What are you guys seeing out there? What is working? It's funny. That's kind of what we use. The teams that I coach, like in basketball and baseball, we always do that. We do that all the time. Hey, because I mean, I can see something, but what are the players feeling? What are you guys feeling out there? What do you think works? What's not working? And for DK and Lockett to have these scouting reports that they came up with, especially that San Francisco game, and tell, Ryan Grubb, hey, here's what we like. Here's what we think can be implemented in the game plan. And for it to never, ever be used, yeah, that's a failure. A failure on Ryan Grubb. And it's a shame that he didn't listen to his players more. And that heated exchange in which they had on the sideline where he picked up the headset, you could see him screaming at Ryan Grubb, was based in part to that, hey, we told you they were sitting on this certain route all week long, that we needed to change it, and you didn't change it. And now you look back, and it's okay to say you're wrong about something, but that goes down as one of the worst hires ever in Seahawks history in terms of hiring a coordinator. And so, I thought it was a mistake probably early on going through it to get rid of him after 1 year. But looking back on it, now hearing guys like DK talk, and Gino hasn't said anything yet, and we haven't heard Lockett say anything, in response to what DK said, that it was a mistake, and it was clearly the right move there to move on from Ryan Grubb. All right, a couple other notes here before we wrap up the show today here, the Daily Puck Drop. Our apologies for the internet connection down in Bend, Oregon for one Jim Moore. See, when the home course dropped and they already paid for the sponsorship, you notice his internet connection started going down. Maybe they tie in together. The Celtics sale, that was another piece of news I wanted to get to today. I don't know if this is one of the last hurdles or what hurdle this is. The Celtics have now officially have been sold. It's a little over $6 billion. People rejoicing. Hey, this is going to be now, it clears the way for the Sonics to come back, and this was the last hurdle. I don't know if it was the last hurdle. It certainly is good news. It certainly was a hurdle in the way before there could be any talk of expansion and the Sonics and Seattle. But I don't know if it's the last hurdle, because every time I think there is a last hurdle, there continues to be more hurdles with this whole development with the Sonics and the return of the NBA. And that's what leads us into, as we wrap up the Daily Puck Drop, leads us into kind of my final thought on Hey, What the Puck. And Hey, What the Puck is brought to you by Restoration One of North Seattle, your restoration company that lets you avoid the stress of water, fire, and mold damage with their property restoration services. Locally owned and operated, make them your first call when those damages do affect your residential or commercial property. 206-817-8917 or visit them online at restoration1.com, the North Seattle franchise. And the final thought for Hey, What the Puck would be this. We talked about this, I think, a few months ago with Tim Booth of the Seattle Times. The NBA has got to be real careful. Now, I think there is some people in this town who are done forever with the NBA and how they treated us in this city and how they have treated us since then. And I do believe there's some. I don't think it's as many as some like to let lead on, and I think that there still are a vast majority of you out there that say, I'm done with the NBA. I don't care if it comes back. I've moved on. I do think when it comes back, I guess if it comes back, I think you will jump right back on because you still have that love affair and you still have that love for that team still deep down in your heart someplace. So I do think that love and that feeling that you had for the NBA and for the Sonics will come back. Might take a little time, but I think it will do. Will come back. But I do think the NBA's got to be careful with this, of this dangling of the carrot and jerking around this fan base. I think we all know how passionate people in this town are about basketball in particular. I mean, you saw it over the weekend. Now, I know some of those people are coming from out of town to watch their teams play. But there is a huge, rich tradition and history of basketball in this city. And the last thing that you want to do if you're a company, an entity like the NBA, is continuously to jerk a fan base around. Because that was such a deep cut that we all experienced with the Sonics leaving. And then we thought, my God, we were going to get a team right away. Not even a few years later, we were going to get the Sacramento Kings. And then how that fell apart. And then how the league under David Stern, who was a part of removing the Sonics from Seattle and putting them to Oklahoma City, was then again the guy that prevented the Kings from coming to Seattle and stepped in front of it. And you wondered back then, why didn't you do that for Seattle? Why didn't you give them that respect? Because he was disrespected years before that down in Olympia. And so I think we do get excited from this past weekend. It was a hurdle to, I think, jump over for people that are passionate about bringing the NBA back to Seattle. I don't know if it's the last hurdle. And I still think it feels far away from it. Because are they going to allow the other hurdles? Do they want to expand? Do the owners truly want to do it? Or are there owners out there that feel like it will dilute the product? How much is it going to be? $6 billion. Is it going to continue to be raised more and more and more? And do you get to a point where you price people out? You're going to price an ownership group out. Samantha Holloway and David Bonderman, that being the hurdle was because they were a minority owner in it. They don't, and she doesn't, and her family do not have the financial capacity to do it all themselves. They don't. So then you need to add other owners into it. And this becomes the tricky part with any ownership of any professional franchise. Too many cooks in the kitchen. We've seen it with, the baseball team, and you've seen it with other professional franchises. You have too many people that are involved in the ownership process. So that's where I would be a little bit concerned in terms of, hey, it looks like we're almost there. I don't know if we're almost there. Reading Tim Booth a little bit over this weekend and just talking to Tim, 27, 28 looks feasible. Okay. Expansion to Las Vegas, that has continued to be another hurdle for people. I hope we've reached it. I hope we're getting closer. I am basketball crazed. And so is my family, and we are starving to have that team in particular come back. All right, that's it for the Daily Puck Drop. That is Hey What the Puck, brought to you by Restoration One of North Seattle. Restoration Company lets you avoid the stress of water, fire, and mold damage with their property restoration services. Locally owned and operated. Make them your first call when those damages affect your residential or commercial property. 206-817-8917. Visit them online, restoration1.com, the North Seattle franchise. Coming up tomorrow's show, Tuesday, Danny Kelly of The Ringer. We'll talk NFL draft with Danny. Also, John Canzano from johncanzano.com. He was up here in Seattle covering the NCAA tournament. We'll also get the latest on the Pac-12 media. Are we any closer? I feel like that we're just doing that every week with John. Maybe he's got some more information on that. We'll find out. Again, a reminder, Wednesday's show, just kind of planning the week out for all of you out there. Wednesday's show, standalone show, debuting a new podcast called The Sports Pit with a couple of dear old friends. That debuts on Wednesday for Puck's Posse members, but we will play it for you in its entirety on Wednesday to give you a taste of it. Thursday will be our 1-year anniversary here at Puck Sports, and, of course, the Daily Puck Drop and all that. It will be our opening day special show. That means you hear from James Earl Jones again, which that always gets me every year. And also Jim Duquette from MLB.com or MLB Network Radio. He's back for another year covering baseball. Brad Adam of Root Sports is back. Ryan Divish is back. The Scout, you're going to hear from The Scout as well, our new feature that we're providing you this year, an anonymous Major League Baseball scout with the dirty, all the dirty business behind baseball and the Mariners and an evaluation of players and the team. So looking forward to that. That gets underway on Thursday. Looking forward to the start of the baseball season. I know we get angry at them, upset at them, the lack of moves, but as we get a little bit closer, you get a little bit more excited. Well, I do. I get more excited about it's not just the Mariners starting, but baseball starting. So, again, big thanks to Restoration One. Hey, What the Puck, as we wrap up the Daily Puck Drop. Also, thank you for everyone for watching and listening today. Sorry it was kind of in the beginning of it. It was rough because of Jim's internet connection. So, our apologies. As we always say, we'll be better. We don't say we will be better. We say we promise, which then sometimes we can lie on that promise. Thank you to all our sponsors, Limback Lumber, A Clean Streak, Georgetown Brewery. Please check out their new tavern beer at your local bar. Also visit them. Visit their website, georgetownbeer.com. You can find locations of their brand new tavern beer, easy drinking domestic style lager. We used to have one like that was brewed here in Seattle. No longer is it brewed here in Seattle. So Georgetown said, we'll brew the same beer, basically the same style of beer, but better. And actually brewed here. How about that? Good on Georgetown. Today's Daily Puck Drop, you can find it up on YouTube. When you're there, please subscribe to the channel. Also find the Daily Puck Drop on your favorite podcast platform. Doesn't matter which platform it is, as long as you listen to it and rate the show and leave a comment. Doesn't matter. And you can find everything up at pucksports.com. When you're at the website, the top of the website is a link to become a member of the Puck's Posse community. Just $5 a month. You get a discount if you sign up for a year. You get all the free content we do every single day, plus added bonus content like Ryan Davis of the Seattle Times, Dane Brugler of The Athletic. We'll have a new series coming out with him covering the NFL draft this week, and also our new feature starting on Wednesday that will come out, the Sports Pit. So check all of that out up at pucksports.com. All right, signing off here on a Monday. It's good to be back. Good to see everyone. Good to talk to everyone today on a Monday show. We're back with a Tuesday show. John Canzano and, again, Danny Kelly from The Ringer. Until then, as always, fingers crossed, promise to be better tomorrow.
No shoes, no dice.
Would anybody like to smoke some pot?
Yeah.
I was born to love you. I was born to lick your face. I was born to rub you. But you were born to rub me first.
What do you need my address for? We'd like to send out a mailer.
Mother of mercy, I don't speak Japanese!